Welcome, Leo Ascendant, Leo Risings. This is your April new moon 2020. Your new moon video is, well, it's right now. New moon is in Taurus. Taurus at 3:24 is the sun and then the moon together. 3:24 Taurus energy. Where does this happen in your life? We're going to discover. We're going to find out what sort of an intention I'm going to be placing on the new moon based upon the location of the new moon in my chart. And I'm going to do the same for you. Because when you work with the energies, you understand, well, you're being a metaphysician, okay? And that is what we want to do. That's why we look at the charts. Otherwise, what's it for? Entertainment? Maybe, but no, not for me. I want to be strategic. I want to be able to navigate the waters of my life. So we're going to find out where that occurs. And we're also going to take a look at your Venus and your Mars energy. We're going to find out where they're working simultaneously together very well. They're sending sweet trines to each other and they're having good conversations. And this will not last forever. So I'm going to dip into that, and I'm going to give you the heads up as to when they start getting a little bit more difficult, when they start getting a little more of the 90-degree squaring stuff happening, which isn't so great. But it's a reality, and so knowing in advance will help, because then it can help you to hone in on the moments when the conversations are going really well. Now, we're also going to be discussing Uranus and Taurus a lot. Basically, Taurus energy is in such, it's highlighted so much during the month of April. And it's not just because it's Taurus season, right? It is because at the beginning of the month, we had a full moon in Libra. And Libra's ruler is Venus. Well, that's Taurus's ruler as well. So that's that, right? And then we've got Uranus in Taurus. Its ruler is Venus, right? So that's that. And then we've got this new moon in Taurus, ruler Venus. So again, let's just talk about Venus for a little bit. Venus is how I value. What do I value? Venus is how I give and how I receive. Because Venus ruling Libra is all about compromise. How I can get along with somebody, how I can, my whole give and take. What do I do with that give and take stuff? Taurus is a very fixed energy. And when I say fixed, it's earthy, but it's stubborn. Right? Think of that bull in the pasture who just kind of stands there, doesn't move until it wants something or until it's angered, and then it charges, and then it's like, holy shit, get out of the way, you're going to get run over by the bull. So understanding where the Taurian energy is in your chart, understanding you're going to have a new moon highlighted there, and realizing that this new moon is very close to the Uranus energy is a big deal. Because after the sun and the moon are together, shortly after that, the moon will then touch on Uranus. And shortly after that, 3 days later, the sun will touch on Uranus. So we're going to set up our intentions on a different day. We're not even going to do it on the 22nd of April, which is the day of the new moon. But I'm going to give you a date in which I am going to be setting my intentions. And you are free to do what you want, but I will share with you what I'm doing. That way, I feel I'm working best with the energy as well as I can. Leo, your new moon by diving into your all astrology. Okay, Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising, we're going to talk about your third house. I know that seems strange, but not really. Your third house has Libra in it. And this is Venus, right? Yes. So your recent full moon was in your third house. What kind of a full moon did you have? My full moon was beautiful. I'm not even going to lie. Beautiful because I have actually my north node. Come to think of it, was my north node that was at the exact. It was 1843. The full moon was, 1844 in Libra. And I have something in Aries at 1843. And I wasn't sure what this was going to be like. But boy, when that day came around, my Aryan energy was fired up because the sun was sitting on it. Right? And so the moon was over there in the Libra energy. So for you, your Aryan energy, this happened in your ninth house of believing, right? Your belief systems, your philosophy on life, your opinions, okay? This is also a location where a low expression of this is being judgmental, okay? Did this happen for you? Because the full moon was there. Did a light blaze on an area of your life where you are judgmental? That was actually one of my full moon. I actually did a full moon ceremony, which that was part of my Aryan stuff. I had no plan. It was just all of a sudden I got up that day and it was like, I knew that I had to do this. It wasn't even a question. It was like it was almost like this download of, okay, go and do this, then do this, then do this. And I just went and did it all. It was like, okay, whatever you say, I'm doing it, damn it. It was so strong, the impression, the desire, but it wasn't even a desire. It wasn't even what I wanted. It was just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like an order. It's like, go do this. And you're like, okay, you know, but I wasn't out of my mind. It was very beautiful. Matter of fact, it was beautiful because I was out of my mind. I wasn't in the thinking mode. I was more in this, because it's fire. So it was just, yeah, opening up this area and just not questioning it, not doubting, and just doing. And so it was a beautiful day for me. I don't know how yours day went, but let me know, because this would have been, like I said, your third and your ninth house. When we talk about your Venus energy in your third house, this is Libra. This is how you think. So relationships are important to you, right? Especially relationships with siblings, because it's in your third house. Relationships with neighbors would be important as well. This is in your third house. Relationships with people in your immediate environment is very important. So co-workers, it's your third house. Taking little short jaunts, little short trips, little road trips, very important, right? Why do I say that? Because the third house is our little road trips. The third house is our short journeys. The third house is our traveling and our daily routines. Having Libra there means these things, you value them very much, okay? And having relationships, but relationships being fair, being balanced. This is very, very important to you. And I'm saying all this because when we find out what's really important in our life, like where our Venus energy is, and the fact that we have this whole month where Venus is being super highlighted, because not only is Venus the ruler of the full moon, the ruler of the new moon, and not only is Taurus having Uranus in it, which it's lighting up relationships, right, in our value system, we have Venus who's gone out of bounds April 3rd. And who will be out of bounds all the way until June. And so when Venus goes out of bounds, her desires are even stronger. Her idea of what is beautiful and what she loves is like off the charts, right? All of a sudden it's like, she's just extreme. She actually goes, she's imbalanced at this point. Now this like everything in an energy, there can be a positive and a negative, so to speak, to it, because, well, when we're out of bounds, we're out of bounds. Too much of anything is too much. So there will be a time of extreme giving and a time of a lot of receiving, okay? And so this can be good because of the fact that everybody pretty much has been affected in one way or another of this lockdown, right? The coronavirus and pandemic and loss of lives of loved ones, and jobs, values, incomes. These are all Venus-ruled things. Your income, your resources, the people that you love, this is all Venus. And that's what Uranus and Taurus has been doing for the last 2 years. And it will be in Taurus for the next 5 years, folks. So this whole experience, the coronavirus, I'm not saying that's going to be a 5-year thing, but to some degree it will be. Not to this extreme, but we'll still be dealing with it on a smaller scale, because we'll have our advancements of technology will have kicked in. Uranus energy will have kicked in. The discoveries will have kicked in. The science will have kicked in. Mercury gets out of Neptune, thank God. Actually, in a few days, I'm doing this on the 10th or the 11th of April. And within a few days, Mercury will be in Aries. And that's a good thing, because then Mercury is air, it's thinking. Its higher octave is Uranus, which is science. And when it hits Aries, it's fire. And so it goes super fast through Arian energy, unfortunately. But what will happen is we'll have something that comes up. There will be an answer. There will be an answer that appears to be the solution. I'm saying it appears to be the solution because it's very fast. And it's almost like there's definitely not enough time for testing to be done. Right? So there's going to be tweaking, which that means, like this isn't the end all be all. This is going to have to be tweaked, but there are answers coming. I would wait until Mercury got into the Taurus energy when it's closer to Uranus, when it gets to Uranian energy, because then it's grounded. It's more stable. It's not as chaotic. It's not as impulsive. And it's getting more information. It's connecting to the mind of God. It's connecting to the cosmos. It's connecting to Uranus and Taurus. let's go through the new moon for you, okay? That's the 22nd of April. It's like 9:26, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, depending upon where you live, so adjust for your time. The sun and moon at 3:23 happens in your 10th house. This is your ambitions. This is your goals. This Taurian energy in your 10th house, it's the best way to explain the 10th house is we say it's the house of your career, but it's more like a calling. It's more like you were born with this drive, with this passion about this thing. And I can say, because you have Taurus there in your 10th, it's a desire that you have. But it's for things to be of the earth, for things to be natural, for things to be grounded. Food could be a factor as well because it's Taurus energy, and Taurus rules all the five senses, okay? This is a big deal because when you talk about what is it that's your passion, what is it that's your desire, what is it that is what's your career supposed to be, right? You want to understand where your other earth energies are. You know, your other earth energies for you, Leo, ascendant Leo rising, you have earth in your second house. You've got Virgo there. You want to look at your other earth. Where's your Capricorn? It's in your sixth house. So you've got house number 2, house number 6, and house number 10, all very grounded energies, right? Very stable energies, very 3D energies, very organized, very structured, right? Very responsible and dependable and reliable. Remember the Virgo energy in your second house. Virgo has a tendency, Virgo is beautiful energy, but there is a tendency for perfection with Virgo. And when you understand that, you can see how what you value may be way out of everybody else's reach of what they value, because of the fact that yours is so high. It's the level of perfection, right? And other people are just like, okay, like, that's great, but I can't, I'm not there. Like, yeah, it's great. And I see shades of it in my life. Like, I can adapt to certain parts of those same values, but I'll never be able to match what you see because your level of what you value is so high. It should be so perfect. And realizing that will help you to go down a few notches. Because when you go back a few notches on your values, you're then finding you are relating to more people on a more stable ground. And it's much easier then to come to an understanding of valuing things that others value so that you can pair up. And this may have been something that held you back. And you may not have been aware of it because you have an unbelievable work ethic, an unbelievable strive and desire for things being ethical and being responsible, for things being organized. Like, you probably don't get it, but nobody operates like this. I mean, that's the truth. The only other people that would operate like this are Leos who have these placements where they know, okay, I've got Virgo in my second, I've got Capricorn in my sixth, and I've got Taurus in my 10th. You've got Earth in Earth houses, okay? So you're really grounded. Things should be really stable and fixed and focused for you. And there's not a lot of budging, you know? And so what you value, even though you can be, there's this mutable sense because it's Virgo, realizing that there's such a idea of perfection involved that's unattainable. Okay, and the sooner you pull that in and realize that, you can then go down a few notches and find that you will have shared values that others have. And that will be great because then you'll have really found your group then. You'll feel very comfortable finally. It'll be a place where you can be more at ease with yourself and let off on yourself a little bit too, because your work ethic, when people have Capricorn in the 6th house, oh my God. I mean, you're a great employee. I'll put it to you like that. But because you have Capricorn there, that means you're boss material. But let me tell you, man, you would be like a slave driver because employees could never do what you could do. And as a boss, your idea would be, well, I'm not asking you to do anything I don't do. Well, whoa, slow down. You're not asking people to do anything you wouldn't do, but recognize when you have Capricorn in that place, you can do shit way beyond what other people can do. I don't know if anybody's told you that, but I'm letting you know that here and now. And if you have planets there, oh God, it like intensifies what I said even more. So being more realistic, okay, being more grounded in what you value and understanding needs versus values and honing in on that will be a big help in setting intentions. So let's talk about your Scorpio energy. Your Scorpio energy is in your 4th house, okay? And we have to talk about this because this is really where you're going to be setting your new moons. This is where you're going to be focusing your new moon energy. I know I said that your Taurus energy is in your 10th, and that is where the new moon physically happens. But when we set intentions, okay, it's Taurus, and Taurus is my desire, all right? Taurus is what I value, okay? It's a new moon, and new moon, you have to incorporate what you value, but at the same time, it has to include shared values. It has to include the polar opposite of the Taurus energy, which is Scorpio energy, which is shared energy, shared resources. And this happens in your 4th house, okay? What does that mean? It means you would find 323 in Scorpio energy. See where that falls in your chart. It is a very good possibility because it is such a low degree of Scorpio. It's a possibility that might fall in your 3rd house, okay? I don't have any way of knowing that, only if I'm looking at your chart. So if you need help to figure that out, comment and I can tell you that. All you're doing is giving me your birth info and I can draw up your chart and I can say, yep, it's in your 4th. Or I can say, nope, it's in your 3rd. And if it's in your 3rd, it's going to mean this, okay? So make sure that if you don't know, you comment your stuff below. Now, at this time, Pluto slows down and stands still, okay? And when Pluto does that, fear comes up. Your fear energy is in your 6th house. This is important to know because your 6th house isn't just your work house. Your 6th house is your health. All right? Now, fear, all right, having uncertainty, which we are all having, but having fear control is not good, all right? Your 6th house is your physical well-being, okay? Now, we have to also keep in mind that it is the house of our hygiene, right? I'm making sure and remembering to use hygiene as well as health when I'm talking about Virgo energy. Because, well, we're finding out that it actually is a big part of our well-being right now. And our well-being is dependent on our ability to stay clean and to constantly be washing our hands so that we do not let this thing spread any further, right? So there might be this, I know they're saying that it's not possible to be too careful right now, but it is possible to allow the fear to be so strong about viruses and about germs in the home, okay, that it's going to affect your health. But it's your fear that's affecting your health. Not the fear of the virus, not the virus itself, but your fear of the virus that's going to affect your health. Now, I'm not saying it's going to affect your health like it's a real thing, yeah, you're done. What you want to see if anything squares this. Now, Pluto has been at this degree, 24, 25 degrees, this whole time. Pluto moves really slow. It's the slowest planet. Okay, so if you had something squaring it, okay, you see if you have anything, and either I want to look at your Capricorn energy, that's your 6th house. So we want to see if you have anything squaring it in your Libra energy, that's your 3rd house, and see if you have anything in Aries, okay, that's your 9th house. See if you have anything at 23, 24, 25, because Pluto by the 26th is then going to go backwards. And when it goes backwards, it's then going to revisit those spots in the Capricorn energy. It's going to revisit the 24, the 23, the 22 degrees. Meaning if you have planets in either Aries or Libra, it's going to add additional stress and tension and frustration in your life. And this has to do with your thinking and your belief. This is your 3rd house and your 9th house. How you believe at this time and elevating your belief system and making yourself really shine the light on and on light. Be the light, Okay, this is so important, and this is your test. You were born for this. You were born to hone in on optimism and positivity. Okay, and I know it's a challenge. I mean, I see the challenge. I know it's difficult, but it's work, and work usually isn't easy. However, there's a promise that if you do the work, your soul will reward you, because Pluto is our soul's energy. And Pluto says, if you don't follow it, if you don't do it, if you don't perform it, it ends up not being so good for your future. But if you do this, this will make your future better. And not just your future, but your children's future and your children's children's future better. This is so that we have a better tomorrow for all involved. The highest expression of Plutonian energy is for the group. Okay, that is the altruistic way that you want it to go, because it will embrace humanity, and it will embrace us moving forward as a group, as a single unit, but all the pieces within the unit. So for Leo ascendant, Leo rising, this is Mars and Venus having a really nice conversation. Mars is in Aquarian energy at the time of this new moon, and it's at 16 degrees Aquarius, which is in your 7th house. That's a nice thing. That's your partner, right? Your ability to compromise and relate to folks. And Venus is in your 11th house. This is friends. This is also the internet. This is beautiful. This means there's a lot of, you can get a lot done. Okay, you can get a lot done by way of group energy and relating. You have the masculine energy in your 7th house. You've got the feminine energy in your 11th house. So female energy, masculine energy, getting along in groups and one-on-one, both. This is only going to last. Actually, this changes by the end of May. Things start getting a little difficult. Okay, so we have all of April. And we have a good part of May where they're still relating, they're still communicating, but they're not as easy as they were. They're both still in air. But then all that changes. It all is going to change, because once the end of May comes around, we have Mars going into Piscean energy, and then things take a very different turn at that time, because Venus is still going to stay in air. Venus stays in that sign of Gemini in air all the way until August. But then when Mars gets to Pisces, it starts squaring up with Venus. Not immediately, but understanding that Mars is your body, and it's the 3D, it's your physical, it's your action, and that Pisces energy is the 5D. It's ethereal, and it has the power to dissolve the 3D. And if this is your body and your action, right? And so Mars gets into Pisces and it slows down. We need more sleep. We need more rest. This is when self-care becomes a very big deal for all of us. Now for you, this is going to happen. Your Piscean energy is where Mars will be. This will be in your 8th house. So this will be in your relationship with your partners. Okay? It won't necessarily be your health, but it could be your emotions, first of all. Because if your partner's feeling ill, it's going to bother you, right? But it doesn't have to just be your partner. It can be anybody that you were intimately bonded with, all right? So other people are going to need rest. Other people are going to need to be taking care of themselves even better than they were before, because Mars going into Pisces, that's just what it does. It makes us susceptible, right? I did a lot of videos about this before, where we're taking things and they affect us stronger, right? Our body can't handle, like all of a sudden, if we take a pill every night to go to sleep, all of a sudden it has a stronger effect on us. Our physical world is literally thinned out a little bit more, okay? It's not as strong. So definitely take care and engage with best health practices in addition to the hygiene stuff. All right, so Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising, if you've got any questions, comment below, and I will love to hear from you. Bye.